Hello, I'm Dr. John Smelser. Welcome to another episode of Ahtna 101. In this episode, we talk about fish, but specifically salmon. There are, 5 different species of salmon that run up and down the rivers of Alaska and in the ocean and the bay. So our culture, being the Ahtna people, we're typical people of the Copper River, salmon is a very, very, very important food source for us. All summer long, even traditionally, we'd stay down by rivers catching and drying and smoking salmon to store for the whole winter. So very important. I'll start off with just the word for salmon in general. You've heard it before, sluka, sluka. Now one of the species of salmon is sockeyes. We call them reds, red salmon, and that is just no laki. No lucky. If it's a small sockeye salmon, like, oh, that one's small, throw it back. It's sesluge. Sesluge. King salmon, that's the big one. They can weigh up to about 98 pounds. I think that's the world record, is 98 pounds. And it's it's slukeke. So you hear the slu, like for salmon, but remember keke? Keke just means big. So slukeke, the big salmon, the biggest one. Now sometimes king salmon that are too immature, they shouldn't be spawning. It's not their time to spawn, but they're just running with the pack. Everybody's heading up river, so they follow anyhow, but they're not going to spawn. They're small. They're almost the size of a trout, and people call them a jack, like a king, queen, jack. That's what they call them. And we call that bakits adi. Silver salmon, sometimes called coho, but I know it mostly as a silver salmon. That's hailuge. So silver salmon is all salmon is delicious. It's all delicious. We have a nickname for silver salmon. I don't know why. I've never heard it, but it's just tejuge. And finally, the pink salmon. This is the one that's mostly canned. When you buy canned salmon, it's almost always pink salmon. They run in the millions and millions. There's so many of these things that you don't even want to fish for them. I sit there and go, oh, I don't want these pink salmon. I'm looking for a silver salmon or a king salmon. So you're trying to catch that, not a pink salmon, because there's so many of them. And that's just called dakai. Dakai. Some people, like in Mentasta, they call it dakagi. Dakagi. So that's our salmon terms. We'll learn more terms next week of fish and creatures related to the water. I just wanted to say this necklace I'm wearing, I made 2 of these way back in the 90s. I made a similar one exactly like it using the same kind of beads for Carl Sagan, the great cosmologist, astronomer, popular writer, who came to visit me in Anchorage the year before he died. And these red beads here are actual Russian trade beads that Russians in the 1700s traded the natives for, things. And I got a hold of a few, and I made these necklaces, and I gave him one, and I kept one. So it's very special. I think I've said before, this vest is my potlatch dancing vest for when we do our traditional dancing. And my grandmother made it for me, and it's lined with fox fur, nuggetsi. Remember, nuggetsi. That's fox, red fox. And I just wanted to share that with you. So stay tuned next time for another episode of Ahtna 101.